Pep Talk. This one is about what happens when your thoughts are more difficult to conceptualize. Sorry about the train in the background there. I live right by the train, unfortunately, and they're actually going today. So, the point I'm going to make is there's a theory called cognitive load theory that basically says when you learn new things, the things you've already learned fairly recently, such as how to structure a paragraph well, or how to catch some of the errors you make, or something like that, sort of fall by the wayside temporarily while you actually try to incorporate these new ideas, such as the harder one, I think, is to integrate a complex point into a whole thesis to create a research essay and incorporate sources, which is also hard to do, integrate sources into your work. So as you're learning these new skills, these things you already do kind of seem to be a little weaker, and which is why sometimes first drafts look so bad. So it's just a common phenomenon, that happens as you learn new things. And so what happens is, as you gain a little bit more expertise with the new concept, with the ability to promote a thesis well throughout a paper, then you're able to pull back in those skills that you already did know and put them to work as well. For example, the things that you also need to do with the paper is make sure that a sentence or a paragraph is well organized. You have to have a topic sentence, which maybe it would come from the outline. That would be ideal if you did a really good outline, but if you didn't, at least you would be creating one. And so the thing is, you'd have a topic sentence, and then you'd have a statement that follows up on it, and another statement, several examples, a source being integrated or another source, and then a comment, an interpretation about that source, and then a transition to the next topic. So that's a good idea of how to organize a paragraph. And then when you have a sentence-to-sentence progression of ideas, one of the things that module talked about this week was this known new idea of chaining sentences together by putting information that's new at the front, or at the end, putting information that's known at the beginning, and so you connect things. And so it's really hard sometimes to see how that works, but it's actually a fairly effective, extremely effective concept. In fact, I teach it in technical writing, and it's extremely effective. It makes things more cohesive and helps readers to actually incorporate that information that they're learning from you into their brains better. So what you're going to do is, what I want you to do is focus on more of the paragraph level revision in some of the drafts, and try to apply that known to new principle. In fact, if you just copy one paragraph on the bulletin board and then rewrite it with that known new principle, I think that would be a really important thing to do, and to get your experience honed a little bit more in that area. And I'd say maybe if you forgot about that part of the lesson from Module 6, I think it is, then go back and double check that, because that's really important. In fact, I'll try to put an example on the discussion board today that will show you how that works with the outlining or highlighting of the different parts. It's really, really interesting how that can work. It's like a chain that connects from one sentence to the other one. And then on the more micro level, try to remember that usage is a key thing to keep in mind. Usage isn't correct or incorrect. Usage is correct in a situation. For example, you're not going to use THREW for he went through the tunnel. You know, you're going to use it for he threw the ball. And you're probably going to use THRU for a text through, version of through, and so forth. So those are usage issues. So keep that in mind. So sometimes things aren't errors by themselves, but in context, they might be wrong, inappropriately used. So just like slang is not, or informal English is not as useful with academic writing, and vice versa. You know, it doesn't make sense to be walking around talking like you would for a research paper with your friends. So, maybe you do, but I know I don't. So, anyway, that's your pep talk for the day. Think about the fact that your brain has a way of accommodating things. It doesn't always look pretty. So, if you understand that, then that's better. Okay? So, good luck with things. I should be finished with posting the draft feedback today, or by tomorrow morning for sure. Goodbye.